Let the games begin. You're pretty much in a game all the time, flesh versus spirit. Now, if you learn how to die to self day by day, die daily, you win. But it's a process, learning that, because you're not Jesus. Jesus is Jesus. You're following after Jesus. You're one with Christ, but you're in the simulated training program, learning how to take up your cross daily. Now, what I want to do is pass this on, because I've never heard a preacher preach on this, but I know other people are dealing with it, because if one person's dealt with it, 1,000 have, 1,000,000. So I noticed I was out in the yard. I was deciding to what I decided to do is make me a little exercise pathway around the house, backyard, side yard. I'm gonna build me a little exercise where you can walk around, do some push-ups. Like you say, you know how you go to the park and you see these different spots where you stop off and you do some pull-ups, you do some push-ups, you do some squats or whatever. And so I figured I'd make the yard nice, just something to do. It's a hobby. It's a hobby. Working out in the yard should be a hobby. So I decided to do that, and I thought, what's my motivation? It wasn't exactly in this same order, but I was thinking, what's my motivation? And it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I don't know if it was the Holy Spirit. I don't know if it was just what it was. But something hit me like a ton of bricks that most of my life, my motivation has been to fight against the system, because the system's trying to pull me down. Now, is that the truth? Is that a good motivation? It might make you mad and make you strong. It might give you some motivation to accomplish some stuff. But is it the real motivation that's going to last? No. The true motivation, I'm not sure what I'm going to title this yet. Maybe I'll title it moving your motivation from a angry at the system motivation, or escaping the system motivation, to serving God motivation, or glorifying God, or loving your neighbor. The motivation should not be to fight against Jezebel or the legalist. That's not your motivation. Yeah, they're going to fight you. Yeah. But the motivation, I just passed, look at that. I just passed a sign about at a park where it was a walkway. Let me turn around and show you. I know it's hard to believe. The very thing I just started talking about showed up. And I've never been on this street before. I've never been on this street. If I have, it's been maybe one time in my whole lifetime. I gotta show you this. The very thing I was talking about just appeared. But the motivation shouldn't be to fight against Jezebel, fight against legalism, fight against the system. Motivation should be to help others, glorify God, and do something that's beneficial. Let's see what this says. How has this lake changed? So it's a little walkway. I didn't even know this was here. It's a park right here. Wow, right near the house. Didn't even know it. So see that little walkway? Somebody could walk around, and if you put some bars up and do some pull-ups, do some push-ups, and you build you a little place where you could sit and read a book or whatever, read your Bible, meditate. The weird part is when you decode this thing, every book points back to the Bible. Every book goes back to the truth. Even if somebody writes who's lost, behind the code, behind their surface writing, is a spiritual truth. Even if it's just the black and white on the paper, black and white. Example of what I'm talking about, like rock and roll songs. I don't even know if you can park here. what I'm saying is, there's even my trash can here, City of Greensboro trash can. So what I'm saying is, I guess, oh, you know what it is? It's just you walk down there and you look at the lake, but the lake's dry. I forgot what I was talking about. It'll come back to me. That's weird. Now there's a nice lake, but it's on private property. Now I have been over there. When I was a teenager, me and took a girl over there and parked, and they got run off. We got run off. The police, I guess the neighbors called the police. The police showed up. We had to leave before they called us. Anyway, life is a trip. So the motivation shouldn't be to fight against the Jezebel system. The motivation should be to do God's will and fight for God. Whatever it is. Apostle Paul says, he said, I pray that your body, soul, and spirit be whole. That you be whole in body, soul, and spirit. So part of it is exercising, eating right, fasting, prayer, your will, your emotions, your intellect. Yeah, you have to fight against Jezebel at times, but that's not your motivation in life, to fight against the Jezebel system. The motivation is to glorify God and to do what's right before God. That should be your motivation in life. That should be your drive. And so shifting from a motivation about being angry at the system or whatever, that was a long time ago. I really, when I got saved, I'm not really mad at the system, because I know the system is just, the only reason I'm mad at the system is because it's taking people to hell, you know? The system is taking people to hell. And so, yeah, you could be mad at the devil and be mad, but that's not your true motivation. That's not your ultimate motivation. Your ultimate motivation should be to give God the glory and do what's right before God. That should motivate you. Whether you're building a fence, whether you're building a walkway, a pathway, whether you're building a business, whether you're building a house or a home, or whatever you're building or doing, or whatever work it is, it shouldn't be about selfishness. It shouldn't be about money or greed. It should just be to do what God called you to do, period. And if you're doing what God has called you to do, guess what? That's your motivation, to be in tune with God. To be in tune with God. That's your motivation. Look at this, look. These tailgaters are crazy. What is motivating them? What is motivating a tailgater? And I've been guilty of it in the past. What motivates a tailgater? I got to get somewhere now. You're in my way. It's all about me, and I'm going to run you over. You better beep the horn. Beep, beep, beep. Get out of my way. You're slowing me down. What about the other person? The other person might need to go somewhere too. You see what I'm saying? So the motivation is important. So I decided to go out and clean up the yard and all that, and I decided to make it look nice, you know? What's my motivation? What's the motivation? Well, number one is just to get in shape, have a hobby, but what's the true motivation? It's the right thing to do. It's not because you're mad at the Jezebel system. You're not mad at Obama. You're not mad at Biden. You're not mad at the Illuminati. You're not mad at the Freemasons. That is not your motivation. You're not mad at the legalists. You're not mad at the works-based preachers. You're not mad at the cults and the isms. You're not mad at Hollywood. That's not your motivation. But if that's what it takes to get you jump-started, that's fine. But you're not going to be able to have perpetuity Or longevity if everything you're doing is based on anger at the system. Because the system's always going to be here till God changes it. You can't change it. So what is the motivation? Give God the glory, pull some souls out, just like the movie The Matrix. You can't pull everybody out. You can pull a few out, but you can't pull everybody out. Yank some people out, but you ain't going to be able to pull many out. Not many people are going to be saved. So how can I word it in one sentence? I don't know. But instead of your motivation being angry at the Babylonian Jezebel system, let your motivation, what propels you, what pushes you, don't let it be the anger at the system, but let it be the love of God to pull people out of the system, or the love of God to do your calling down here, whatever He's called you to do. And it might be small to you or to other people, but if you're doing His calling in your life, it's big. And you might not reach but 2 or 3 people. You might reach 10,000. You might reach 5 million, 10 million. I probably reached 10 million people in my time. But I'm fine if I only reach 1. I'm content if I only reach 1. Faith alone in Jesus alone. And your motivation should be lined up with what God has called you to do. And that's give out the good news, because these people are going to hell and they're going to burn forever. And they're humans, and they've been deceived by the devil. They've been deceived by the system. The system is so evil that it doesn't care who it abuses and lies to and destroys. That's what it's here for. The devil's here to destroy, to steal, kill, and destroy. And so the system's going to steal, kill, and destroy. When you're dead and gone, it's still going to be doing it. So what you can do is make an impact on pulling a few out or passing it on. Build a system, even when you're gone, that's giving out the good news. But usually what happens is when a person dies, unless it's written in some kind of stone, somebody takes your system and then they use it for evil. And that's what Solomon talks about that in the book of Proverbs, I think, or Ecclesiastes. You don't know, in the book of Ecclesiastes talks about you don't know what's going to happen. It's all vanity under the sun. So let's hear the end of the matter. Serve God, keep His commandments. What are His commandments? Believe on His Son. And so when you seek God, believe on Jesus, you can't worry about what's going behind, because even if you did everything 100% right, somebody let's say your children came up behind you and they ended up rejecting God, and everything you built is destroyed after you're gone. So your motivation isn't even for your kid, isn't about your kids. Your motivation is like He said, there's nothing new under the sun. And He said, what's the end of the matter? To seek God, to serve God, and to keep His commandments. And we know, what are the commandments of God? Jesus said it, to believe on His Son whom He has sent. There's no other way, people. There's no other way to get out of this system. There's no other way. There's only one way. You're not going to make it. If you tried any other way, you're not going to make it. It's just the way it is.